Hello, my name is CT Hammonds, and I'm utilizing this video for my teacher preparation admission interview. I want to start out with first talking about a subject that I struggled with and how I was able to solve my struggle and get through the class. I will utilize something really recent. Last semester, I took physics at Lone Star Montgomery, and my professor had a passion for physics, and it showed throughout his teachings and throughout the class and throughout the semester. He had a passion for physics, so therefore he had a lot of knowledge about physics and was able to utilize that passion to incorporate real life scenarios that in my everyday life that I was able to understand and begin to pass physics, because at the beginning of the semester I really struggled with it. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what it was used for. I didn't understand the logic in it because I'm more analytical. I like science subjects that incorporate math, like chemistry, ACE chemistry, but I was really struggling with physics. But the fact that he was passionate about it, the fact that he had a knowledge about physics, and the fact that he was willing to go the extra mile to really help me pass that class. I would most definitely utilize this in my teaching and making sure that, one, I'm pretty much, you'll never be an expert or 100% knowledgeable, but making sure that I'm passionate about teaching, making sure my students understand and see a positive attitude within me as far as learning and as far as being able to teach, and also going that extra mile to make sure that students are aware that I'm there and I'm available to make sure they understand the subject matter, and just to make sure that I'm there to listen to whatever problems or situations that they have. One of my favorite teachers was my math teacher in fourth grade. Um, I went to a private school, so most of my teachers were nuns at the time, but Miss Condit, she was from Hawaii, and so she brought a different culture and flavor to the classroom, and she also was very kind and passionate, and she made math very understandable and fun in the classroom. She always had like fun games or fun songs or just different fun activities to make sure that we understood math. And of course, at that age, there is always different ways that you can teach math. But I just remember like some of the games that she taught. I remember how she had a positive attitude every day. And this one thing that I really remember is that we had a student in our class, Cicely Weaver. I'll never forget Cicely. She had epilepsy. So throughout the class time, she would have seizures, and most of the teachers would just ignore her and be like, oh, she's just doing this for a fake or whatever. But one day she had a seizure, and she actually urinated on herself. And Miss Conda was always the one who believed and was passionate to Cicely and was like, no, we will not, making sure that the students didn't laugh at her, making sure that she felt comfortable, and that, in the classroom, that if she had a seizure, she was always on time, on task, and over there helping, making sure that she got to the nurse's office and everything. And I just remember how much love and passion she had for her students, and how it showed, and how she always had a positive attitude, and how she was just passionate about math. So I will make sure that, once again, it's about that passion in your students, seeing that you love teaching, and that you love and you care, and you're wanting them to learn, and that you know what you're talking about, and you're um, um, stay on, and you're able to encourage them and able to listen to them. Some of the strengths that I possess and that will help me in the future as a teacher would be, one, being flexible. I've worked in corporate America as a manager, so I've already have that classroom management skill set, and also that flexibility, because I know things can change. We might be talking about one subject, and then something goes awry, especially with dealing with little kids. Maybe they spilled over the whole science project and we have to, move on to something else. Or maybe we have a fire drill that day and we didn't have enough time and I have to change my plans. And, just really being flexible in the classroom. I think that's like one of the most important strengths that I possess is the flexibility and being able to change and work under pressure. Another strength would be is to have patience. I think when you're dealing with little kids, I know because I have a 4-year-old at home and I also have a grandson who's 3. I know that being patient is really, really important because you don't want kids to see that you're getting frustrated or upset, because then that frustration will lead into them and then they will, break down and will not want to learn. So I most definitely feel like patience is important and needed in the classroom. I think having a positive attitude is very, very important. I think you have to stay positive. You have to keep the classroom upbeat. You have to encourage. You have to listen. You have to understand. I think those are all strengths that I possess and that will be needed in the classroom. I think where I would struggle at would probably be the creativity. I have the creativity in my mind. I can see what I want, but it's hard for me to put that creativity on paper. So that's something that I'm working on is, practicing being creative, like doing little projects with my daughter at home, really thinking about and looking at, using Pinterest to decide like, okay, how would I want my classroom? What do I want my classroom to look like? What do I want to portray to the children? What is needed for them to feel comfortable in the classroom? So making sure that I really focus on creativity. Another thing that I would probably is a weakness would be organization. And I know that being a teacher and managing the classroom, you have to be organized. So that's something that I'm incorporating in my home daily and just making sure that I stay organized, stay on task with everything, because that's important. The kids will need to have that organization to keep the flow of the classroom steady and keep the flow going. So most definitely being organized is one of my weaknesses and that I have been working on and will continue to work on as I travel this road of becoming an educator. I think my relationship with students outside of the classroom should be limited. No social media, no communicating with students outside the classroom, no external relationships. Those relationships should be with parents. So if I have problems or want to talk to students outside of classroom time, I most definitely will utilize that parent channel to discuss any issues or to discuss anything that I have outside of the classroom. I believe firmly that there should be no external relationships with students. Most definitely through social media, through interactions and phone calls. I think students should not have my phone number. That interaction outside of school should be directly dealt with the parents. This has completed my interview. I hope that I'm excited about my future, becoming a future educator.